Hi, Simeon. Thank you for joining us for our first original content for Dance Rhythm. My name is Mikayla Bizarro. I work for Dance Rhythm, but I do also dance myself. If you would like to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Sure. My name is Simeon Pollydore. I am a multifaceted being, I would say. I do dance, but I do have things outside of dance that I do as well. I work in youth and community development, which also ties into my passion for dance because that is a wonderful way for me to express myself. And it is something that I've been doing since I was 12 years old and always actually had a passion for it before I was doing it, just enjoying watching other people do it. My early years with it were my two older cousins, actually, who were dancers and choreographers. And our backyard, where I grew up in Buxton, Guyana, is where I saw the formation of dance and dance routines and spacing and staging and all of that. We had something called maypole where they would braid a pole. It's an old European performance entertainment kind of thing, and it's called maypole because it happens May every year. So a few months before May, the organizers of the event would work to put it together, and then after the braiding of the pole there would be like other performances on the stage,
Mhm.
and my cousins were the co-choreographers for that. So I saw that happening, and I would always rush home from school and just watch that in the backyard and just like dream of doing it myself. But I was so shy as a kid. I did not have the courage to do it. But when I reflect, I see the importance of it, because everything that I do now came from that foundation. When I have rehearsals, the discipline and the professionalism and the formation, as I said, of the choreographic spacings and the coming up with the choreography itself. It's things that I watched my cousins do and then I emulated when my time came, and it's literally the reason I am where I am right now, that foundation.
Right. Well, you basically answered a lot of my intro questions. Yeah, I was gonna ask, I'm assuming your inspirations would be your cousins. So, your background to dance, when did you start dancing, like yourself? How did you get into it?
So I started at 12, and this was when I was in what Americans would call middle school, but for us it's high school because high school starts for us from the seventh grade,
Mm.
seventh to the 12th grade, and then we go out into the workforce or university, whatever. So for me, when I went to high school in the seventh grade, my school, St. Joseph High School, had a thing called Teachers Day. Now, this school had it differently, where it was on Valentine's Day every year, and they would suspend all classes for the day, and the senior class would organize all of the performances from students from 7th to 12th grade, whether it's dance, whether it's poetry, whether it's song, any type of performance, and just put on a show for all of the staff members of the school. And a friend of mine, Alicia, she actually was putting together a dance, and she had three girls, including herself, and I think they had two boys only, and they needed another male.
Mhm.
And so she asked me one day, and I was like, "Oh, sure, yeah, I would do it." And I honestly don't even know how or why I said yes. I guess I was supposed to, because again, I was shy, but yet bold at the same time. And that's how it started. So I started rehearsing with them. And then one of the guys said he didn't want to do it anymore. So then his partner, his female partner, had to drop out. So then it was four of us, two girls, two guys. It was great. And then from there, I did that performance every year for about 6 or 7 years. Even one year after I graduated from high school, I went back and did that performance. And that was literally how I started. And then from there, also, our school had something called the school fair that would happen every November. And it was one of these huge events around the town where you would have adults come, you would have high schoolers from other schools come, and it was on always on a Saturday night, and it was one of the hottest things around town, and people would come. So then I transitioned to performing for that as well. So I would have these two big performances during the year for a few years in my teen years that I would look forward to, one in February and one in November, and that is literally how it all started.
What about after you moved to New York? How did you keep that in you? Because I know it's hard when it's a new environment.
So the passion is there. And once the passion is there, then you're good. So for me, when I moved here, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to New York. New York is one of the entertainment capitals of the world. I am gonna be doing A, B, C, X, Y, Z, L, M, N, O, P. I'm gonna have me a good time just reaching for the stars. Um, and I came to New York, and I remember my mother was like, oh, well, you do have to go to college. Because at this point, I had graduated high school already. And I was reluctant. I didn't want to go to college right away because I wanted to get into, again, my performing, whether it was dance, whether it was theater and acting, because I also do that. And I was like, you know what? Okay, well, some time passed, and I was like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with school, but let me look for a performing arts school. Like it has to be that, or else I'm not going to enjoy going to school. We don't have performing arts high schools and stuff in the Caribbean, or in Guyana, my country specifically. So I didn't get that experience of like how the New York kids can go to LaGuardia High School for performing arts and stuff like that. So for me, it was only the school performances that I got to perform. I didn't go to a dance school. I didn't take dance classes or anything of the sort when I was back in Guyana. So this was the first time in my life I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what my mother wants, but I still have to do what I want,
Mhm.
for me. And so I remember we were going to enroll at one college, my mother and I, and the morning that we were going to that college, she just put her hand on the doorknob and then she said, let's go to the other college that we looked at, which the other college is Queensborough Community College, which I ended up going to. And let me tell you, I know for sure that was God, that was my angels, because I am so grateful to QCC for everything. And I really got to do what I wanted to do there, which was study dance and study theater. And the prior school that we were going to go to did not have those. So it really was divine intervention that led me to one of the best educational institutions of my life. And then, of course, I didn't only study dance and theater, I did the regular classes, your history class, your speech class, all of those things. And I was trained for the first time in my life at 19, 20 years old. I was doing ballet for the first time. I was doing musical theater. And these things were challenging because, like I said, I was 19, 20. And when you look at the average dancer that does ballet, that's something they're starting between 3 to 5 years old, you know? And it is so strict, so disciplined that it's easier on your body when you're younger. However, anything is possible at any time because I got the best trainings. I had some of the most task-driven professors. And by the time a semester would end or a showcase would come around, I saw the difference in my performance because I was also so committed to working and getting better because my peers, who I still call friends and I still work with to this day, they were also inspirations to me because when I looked at them and we were in class together, yes, they did hip hop and the regular pop commercial dance like I did, but they went to high schools where they were cheerleaders or they studied, like I said, jazz or ballet or African. And so they were multifaceted. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I like this. And so they inspired me to just keep on pushing. So outside of my commercial dance that I was already good at, I just got better at concert dance, like modern and contemporary, and learned a little bit more like salsa and bachata. And that, oh my God, like I said, I am so grateful to QCC because that has made me the well-rounded performer that I am right now.
Wow. So you mentioned you took both dance and theater. So how
Hmm.
do you think theater has helped you as a dancer and a choreographer?
Well, theater definitely helps me connect.
Hmm.
Because in theater, whenever you're given a character, you are supposed to understand the motives and the goals of that character. You don't judge that character at all, whether you would make the same decisions they make or you would not make the same decisions they make. It's not about judgment. It's about connection. Especially, like I said, when you're given that role to play, because you want to make sure that you are coming from the space where their actions are your actions and you're really giving life. So musically, I can easily connect when it comes to dance. I can easily connect with something through music, but there are times when you do have to dig deeper. So for me, theater has helped that. Um, because I can sit and I can think a little bit more about, okay, what is this that I'm really trying to emulate? I remember one performance we had, and I was supposed to be in dance. I was supposed to be this lover to one of my best friends when we were in college. And I was supposed to be this one chasing after her. And it wasn't something typical that I would usually do. I really dug deeper and tried to understand this character. Like, who's this character? And why does this person want to chase after her? And what is it about her? And what is it about themselves? And theater helped me go down that rabbit hole and actually build that character from the ground up, where all of his movement, all of his actions, the smooches that he wants to do, the hugging, the touching, everything, it comes from a place that is within that character's self. So theater, I would say, definitely helped me with my storytelling and character connection.
Well, with that, I want to move on to you as a choreographer. Describe your creative process and how you choreograph, and like, what are your favorite genres and styles that you've trained in that you incorporate?
So you asked three things. Let me answer them in each part.
Right.
My style, I would say my style is very commercial dance, pop, hip hop, jazzy, African. Those are my main because I did also grow up in a village that was purchased by freed enslaved people. And so I do come from a very rich African background. Like our village, we celebrated Emancipation Day, which was when the enslaved were freed in our country. And there's always parades and stuff. So there's a lot of history with that. So that Caribbean dancehall and African movement, that comes natural to me.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of my style, a lot of pop, a lot of hip hop, a lot of feminine movement as well, like whether it's femme vogue or femme pop, a little bit of whacking. As I said before, I am trained in musical theater, ballet, contemporary, modern, salsa, bachata, and a host of other genres. So I personally also like to mix all of those because it comes with a feeling, whatever you feel with the music. And which then leads me to how is it that I choreograph? Again, feeling. Sometimes I'll go by what I feel and I'll choreograph something. And then after stepping out of it and looking at it objectively, I'll be like, okay, well, maybe I can flip that. maybe that works here, but maybe I can do something else that goes against that. So my process is just based on whatever it is I'm feeling.
Right. Well, in order to choreograph, right, you need people to choreograph. And you did mention
Hmm.
college, to Queensboro, that a lot of those people are still with you today. So I want to ask you about community and like, do you have a dance community and how important is that for you?
It is very, very, very important because I am a people person. Whether I know you or I don't know you, I just automatically show up with love. And that's that. So I am very much blessed by God to have an amazing, extremely widespread community. And one of the things that I also noticed in 2024 is that that community is also spreading. I'm meeting more people and collaborating with more people and getting to learn different styles and different things through others, and then also impart my knowledge onto them. Like I said, I am blessed to have an amazing community. Most of these people are people from Queensborough Community College, which again is a blessing that we are out of college 10 years and like we are still creating art together. We actually just had a major milestone that we just celebrated back in December, and it was just like, I was just looking around and it's like, wow, we were just in college a few years ago and working to be the professional that we are right now, and look at us. So I do think it's such a blessing to have community, and community is important because then it helps us to grow. It helps us to grow. It helps us to step out of ourselves. It assists us in seeing the rest of the world, so we know that the world does not just revolve around us. There's other people, other experiences, and then when we are more cognizant of our surroundings and the world that we live in, I feel like it helps us love more. I feel like it helps us love deeper and truer because again, we get to understand that not everybody else's experience is our experience.
Hmm. What can you say to dancers or those who want to dance, and are looking for a community within the industry? How can you find these people?
First, I would say look within yourself. You have to feel and know that you are worthy. Because a lot of times we go out into the world looking for things out in the world and we don't vibrate at the energy of what is it that we want to attract.
Mm.
Because sometimes when we're looking for things, and again, we're not resonating with it within ourselves, we can then attract the opposite. It might come looking like in a nice, Santa Claus gift wrap box, as though this is what it is. And then we get down to the nitty-gritty, and this is not what it is. We have to do the work to know and feel that we are worthy.
Mm.
And the second thing I would say, which always works for me, is prayer. Just put it in prayer. The Bible says, ask and you shall receive. You put that in prayer to God. God is listening to you and will give you the people that you want in your life. And that's one of the ways that it has happened to me. Because I did also have times in my life where I did not have the best of friends. I did have people that I loved, and they did not reciprocate the love to the level or the extent that I was doing. And I have no qualms about that because I understand now that those people could not love at that level because of where they were in their lives at that time. And so I just beautifully went my way. And so, as I said my prayer, I started attracting the group of people that I have right now and have had. And the amazing thing is, these are not just people that I create art with. These are people that I can call up and just be like, "Happy birthday! Hey, how you doing? What's the plans? Where we going? Oh, we not doing anything. You flying out? Okay, go have fun." Or people that I could be like, "Hey, how you doing? We haven't talked in a while. I'm checking in. What's going on?" Things like that, because those relationships are more meaningful than just getting up and creating just a dance visual. And yes, it's great to create a dance visual or go on stage and do a performance with these with anyone, but of course if you do have a true deep-rooted human connection, spiritual connection with these people, it just makes every ounce of art you create even better.
Hey,
So
well,
that would be my advice.
that was everything I needed and wanted, and I'm sure other people can use it too. Um, well, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for speaking with me, and thank you for sharing so much. I mean, you shared literally everything without me having to ask. But I also want to give you the space to promote anything that's coming up for you. What can people see? Is there something?
Yes, 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 yes. My friends and I, one of the biggest things that I've done in my life is my friends and I, we created this dance-based web series slash movie called That Girl, and it is a combination of Gossip Girl, the TV show, mixed with Beyonce's Renaissance album, and what that would look like if we were the actual students in Gossip Girl. And you can find that on Instagram. And the handle for that is that.girl.official underscore. Or and it's 16 videos, 16 episodes, or you can go to YouTube, Simeon Pollydore, SimeonPollydore, and look me up there, and you will see all 16 episodes put together in one beautiful film and enjoy it from beginning to end. Coming up in a few days, we have a performance at Club NYC on Saturday, February 8th. Doors open at 6, show starts at 7. My friends and I, we will be there performing. It is a choreographer's showcase where a lot of amazing choreographers throughout and around in New York City will be putting up their works on that stage, and we're gonna be one of those having a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I hope to see you at Club NYC, or I hope to see you on
Mhm.
social media. Thank you so much, guys.